What's going on, guys? Came out this morning, went to start my tractor, started right up and immediately died. This tractor's had a fuel leak and I've been gone for about a week. It must have been pretty low on fuel and the remaining fuel in the tank leaked out. So what I'm going to have to do today to get it started is to break out the wrenches and crack all the lines and bleed all the air out of the fuel lines. I had someone at work ask me a question on how to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and make a short video just showing what to do if you run a simple tractor or other small diesel vehicle out of fuel. So the first step is to make sure that you actually have fuel in the tank. I've already put a gallon in here that I had sitting around, but I went over to the transfer tank and got a couple gallons more just to make sure we're covering the pickup. All right, so the first step is to put something down to catch the fuel. Obviously, you don't want raw diesel fuel leaking all over your ground or your driveway. I got a piece of cardboard down under this, which pretty much stays under it because this thing does leak fuel, like I mentioned. This particular tractor, your fuel tank is back here, and the fuel flows down through a fuel filter, comes out this low pressure line here. You can see that. And this right here is your bleeder line. And most of the stuff on this tractor is metric. So it's a Mitsubishi engine. So 1/2 inch doesn't fit. I can tell the next size down is not going to. So instead of going and getting my metric, I'm just gonna use this crescent if I can. There we go. So we just loosen that up, and then right away you start seeing that pink off-road bubble through. We want to leave that loose until we get a steady trickle, which I would say is right there. And that isn't something that you want to crank down. Just snug it up. There's not a whole lot of thread engagement in there. So that has bled this line to the pump. That means this pump is going to start picking up fuel once the tractor cranks, which is good. But there's air trapped in these 3 injector lines. This is a 3-cylinder tractor. So between this pump and these injectors, there's air. And that air is not going to go anywhere because of the design of these injectors. They're not self-bleeding. The air is not going to flow down into the cylinders and just evacuate like it will in a newer diesel truck. So what you have to do is crack. Well, we're not, hopefully not actually cracking anything, but we call it cracking the injectors. And these lines here do not have the right size. I thought that was a 5/8. You just want to get a wrench on them. And when we say crack them, we're not taking them off, we're just loosening them. So this tractor's in neutral. We set our brake just to make sure it's not going anywhere. And we'll crank it over. And because that's loose, see how we start to see fuel dripping out right here? And we've already, so we weren't starting at all before because these lines were full of air. So just that 1 cylinder bleeding, it's already wanting to start. As soon as I realized it was starting to run out of fuel, I did shut it off. So this one should bleed pretty easy. All right, just with those, you want to tighten that down because that does have some high pressure fuel, but you don't have to just go to town on it and get it so loose that you'll never get it off again. So there's this last cylinder cracked. Do the same for it. We're starting to see the fuel drip out here. I'll turn that back a little, see if we can get some more fuel. All right, so it's got a steady drip. Turn that in by hand. And we'll snug that down. This last one is, on this particular tractor, kind of a pain in the butt to get to. Okay. There we go, that's loose. There it goes. That one is very loose. There we go. Alright, that's snugged. So we want to unplug our heater. It's 40 degrees here in West Virginia this morning. This particular tractor, for whatever reason, is a little cold-natured. Now let's see what happens. sure it's hard to hear me over this, but that's all it takes for this particular tractor. And the procedure is going to be similar for whatever tractor you're driving. As long as it's not one of the newer ones that has like a common rail style system that's electronically controlled. All your older equipment that's simple, that has a straight injection pump like this, and your individual hard lines is going to be the same, whether it's got 3 cylinders or 8.